Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Edward Joseph, and let's talk live. Finding Risha Aleena Lewis. All right, let's talk. Well, today, people, has been such an interesting day. I'm here, I am live, and I am going to talk about some things, peoples. Peoples, finding Risha Aleena Lewis. You guys come on in. You guys come on in. You guys come on in, for there's so much to talk about, peoples. You guys come on in. Peoples, I am here and I am live. You guys hold on for one moment. All right, peoples, it never fails that when you go and you go live, then you always get the phone calls and things. But we're here, we're live, and we're going to try to talk about this young lady who has been missing. Her name is Risha Aleena Lewis. Now, peoples, I have literally tried to figure out some information about her, but there's no information whatsoever up on any channels other than what the YouTubers has did and things. There's no news clippings. There's no news articles. There's no news videos. Nothing of this young lady, period, whatsoever. Other than again that of what the YouTubers had literally had mentioned about her. And so now I am really, really curious, peoples, because this young lady was 26 years old. She was 130 pounds and she was only 5'3". So she was a little shorter than Kanika, a little heavier than Kanika, but she disappeared in Delaware. And that's all the information that we have, pretty much. And so what I want to do right now, people, is this. I want to go to, let me share my screen. I want to go to some of the lives that they had up on YouTube, so we can kind of get a sense as to, you know, who this person is and things are, you know, get some type of information whatsoever. Because, like I said, we absolutely have nothing other than that of what the YouTubers had shared. So let's go here to this channel and let's click upon one of these pages and things, and let's see what they had to say about Risha, because all it is just shorts and pretty much that's it, but no other content that is really giving us any information about this young lady. Now I'm just totally curious, peoples, because I saw this on one of my moderators channels and things, and I said, okay, well, let's go ahead and talk about her. This young lady, according to one of the YouTubers, said that she was missing for 17 years. 17 years, people. 17 years. And we really don't have no information whatsoever. Absolutely none. And so this is really strange to me, people, that there is no news clippings, no news articles, no absolute nothing. And so I find that really odd, but okay. But we're just going to do the best that we can, and we'll bring some highlights to her and stuff, and then we'll transition on to a different topic. Is that all right, peoples? So let's sit back and let's watch Where is Risha Lewis according to Raw Reflections with Seth. Let's go.
Four-door 1997 Ford. Imagine visiting a friend and never to return home to your loved ones or your children. Well, this was the case for 26-year-old Risha Aleena Lewis. She went missing from the Newcastle, Delaware area and has not been seen since. Today, we talk about her story and spread awareness in her disappearance. Rissa was born on August 9th, 1979. She was 26 at the time of her disappearance. She was on her way to visit a friend when she left the 400 block of Morehouse Drive in Newcastle, Delaware. She went to visit her friend in the 200 block of West Pulaski Highway in Elton, Maryland. At approximately 1:30 a.m. on January 21st, 2006, she called home and stated that she was on her way back, but she never returned. She never arrived and she was never seen since. Her vehicle, a white four-door 1997 Ford Crown Victoria with the Delaware license plate number 304653, was found abandoned in Newark, Delaware on October 17th of 2016. And what's strange about that is she went missing in January, and then her vehicle was found 9 months later, from January to October in that same year. That's really freaking strange. So her story then begins to state that she had not been in contact with any of her children since the disappearance, but her cell phone at that time was still activated, but it has not been used. And I'm not really sure if that is still the case. Her disappearance remains unsolved at the moment. At the time of her disappearance, Rissa was 5'3" tall, weighing 130 pounds, with black hair, brown eyes. Her ears and right elbow were pierced, and she had a cesarean section scar on her abdomen. She also had a gold rope bracelet and a gold rope necklace with a pendant that says Mommy and Me. She wore contacts, and she also had several tattoos, one of which was with the name Kev with red flames on her upper arm, a large unspecified tattoo on the other upper arm, her name on her wrist, and the name Jamie on her calf, along with a butterfly between her breasts and binds or barbed wires on the small of her back. If you have any information in Rissa's case, no matter how small, please contact Newcastle County Police Department at 302-395-8171. Again, 302-395-8171. The strange thing about her case that is mind-boggling for me is she had to have made it back to New Jersey because her vehicle was there. Or my theory is she was meeting that friend and something happened with that friend. Now, I have not found any information to correlate with that, but I wonder if maybe something happened to her while meeting the friend, because her vehicle made it back to New Jersey and the only individuals who knew where she was from is that friend. So I really hope that they, talk to this friend, because it didn't specify if it was a female friend or a male friend. So I'm really curious to know about that. I have not found anything to correlate with that, but that's just a theory that I am thinking of. And I've also, like always, I try to look at several different articles to see maybe if someone has any comments, because a lot of people, again, they comment on the different cases, but this is not the case for Rissa. I really do not even have any other information to present to you guys, but I just felt like we should share her story. And it just really sucks when you don't have a lot of information to go off of. And it's just mind-boggling. I also wonder if she stopped somewhere and that's when she met someone and then they decided to take advantage of her and then toss her car. Or it could point back to what I said previously, due to the friend knowing, where she lived and all of that type of stuff. They would know, of course, to put her car back in Delaware. And I was reading something on another site where another young lady's case was very similar. She leaves the home, car is found, and then it ended up finding her body. So it made me wonder if maybe Rissa went somewhere, she stopped somewhere, and someone was either eyeing her or, watching her. And this is where she was met with foul play, because I do not believe she would just run off, of course, because she had two kids. She was on her way to meet a friend, and then she was on her way back, and that's when she met something that was evil in her path. And it's really sad because it just makes you wonder if there was any footage found. Maybe she went to a Walmart, maybe she stopped to get gas. What, it's like something has to be out there of her, because it's been so long, and I have never heard about her case until I just decided to look up, missing persons. And it's just truly sad because I have never heard of her. But again, though, that's kind of what my theory is. I have three different theories. I think that's kind of where I'm going. One, um the friend did it because he or she knew her route. They knew where she lived. They knew she lived in Delaware, so it was easy to put her car back in Delaware 9 months from the time she disappeared. Two, she was met with foul play in her path of getting home, because that would make sense as to it being in not New Jersey, being in Delaware. I want to say New Jersey so bad because of that new arc. And then three, maybe she met someone during her path of going home, like in a article, not an article, but I found something on Facebook where someone was saying that how Cecil County is, you know, kind of sleazy. So maybe someone did something to her and it was covered up. I really don't know, because again, there's not a lot of information to go off of, but she's missing, and that's the main factor of it all. And I really do hope that her body is found if she is deceased, because her children and her family deserve to know where she is and what happened to her. So that is pretty much Rissa Lewis' story. I really hope that I can give you guys more. That's why it's very important and very imperative that we share their stories, talk about them, and spread love and light to their families. And as always, like I say in almost every video and now podcast coming, we have to keep their name alive, and we have to put the pieces together and try to figure out what happened. So again, sending love and light to her family and praying that she is found safe. And I will see you guys on the next episode. Bye bye.
And this is really amazing, people. Where's Rissa? Where's Rissa? So before I begin, peoples, let me give a shout out to my peoples here. I see everybody's here in the chat, and then my panel. Hello, Randall Robinson. How are you, my friend? It's a blessing to see you on tonight. Hello, Gina to you, B. How are you, ma'am? It is a blessing to see you on tonight. Hello, TNT Bryant. How are you, ma'am? It is a blessing to see you on tonight. Hello, Vicky Davis. How are you, ma'am? It is a blessing to see you on tonight. Hello, Island Girl 49. How are you, ma'am? It is a blessing to see you on tonight. And so I got a question to my panel. What is it that you guys think about this particular case? Because when I had did a Google search, a AI search, a Safari search, I did every type of search known. I had scanned all of the news, media outlets and things and stuff, but I could not find not one post that the media has ever talked about this young lady. None whatsoever. Not one post, not one video, not one crime scene, not one picture of the car, absolutely nothing. So how could a person just automatically just disappear out of thin air? But yet I tend to wonder how these people end up getting any type of information on her when I literally couldn't find nothing. What is you guys' thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's okay. You asking the chat, sorry.
No, I'm asking the panel.
I
What
think
what
it's
what are you guys' thoughts?
I think it's very interesting that I'm sitting here on Google and can't find not one CNN report on the news or nothing.
Yeah, I find that really strange because you can't you cannot find not one iota of anything that ever pertains to her. Vicky Davis says it's a massive cover up.
It sounds like it.
Yeah, but
Why
who is this girl?
why would they cover everything up? Why would they hide her? There was nothing wrong. It was a legitimate disappearance or whatever.
Exactly. That's exactly my point. Who is she in the first place? What is your thoughts, TNT?
I never heard of him.
You never heard of her either, huh?
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
I just happened to find out who she. Well, I mean, I've heard of her through Carla Henry channel because she had a posting up on her channel, and I said, okay, well, this seems to be interesting. Let me go ahead and let me talk about her case and things. So instead of really going out to do major research and things, I made a live about it and stuff. And I said, okay, well, so since Carla have it on her channel, you know, we may be able to find something, but you can't find absolutely nothing. That is really weird. A person can live on Earth, but then they will like literally disappear. No news articles, no nothing whatsoever. But I mean, interesting. That's interesting.
And I just caught 5 minutes of it, so I don't even know what's going on.
Gina had said, so I wonder how they know so much about her when there's nothing factual about her in newspapers, nothing whatsoever. Yeah, well, that just goes to show you, you know, if the people want you to disappear, I mean, they'll scrub you off the face of the earth. They'll scrub all the information, everything and stuff, you know. Kind of reminds me of Kanika Jenkins. I mean, a lot of people say, yeah, well, this is Kanika, that's Kanika and things. But then when you really try to go back and to reference, the school, the family tree and things like that, you really can't wholesomely, really pinpoint who she was other than through videos and things. But then again, with all the videos and pictures and whatnot, I mean, that has just left you up to speculation to whether or not you believe that that was really Kanika or not. So I just find it strange, people. Find it strange. But let's transition on to Jay-Z. Let's transition on to Jay-Z and this thing with Ramir. Have you guys heard about that case, Jay-Z and Ramir? From what I've heard, that the judge had said that Jay-Z has to take the paternity test. Now, my question is simply this for the panel. Do you believe that it is right for the judge to make Jay-Z take the paternity test, even though he has been denying that this is his son forever and a day? What are your thoughts?
My thoughts is I thought that they had dropped that paternity, and the case that they're doing now is like the fraud case. Like they're going back after the people that committed fraud.
Okay, let me see. Let me go back home, because I was just looking at this young lady earlier, and she gets all of the juicies, and so I've been kind of like,
Well, they had an interview. They had an interview with is it the aunt that's helping Ramir? I saw an interview with her talking, saying that she wanted to be clear with everybody that they're no longer going. They dropped the paternity case, and now they're going after fraud charges of everybody that committed fraud all those years.
but it must be another. They must have another case pending or something, because this is what she was saying earlier today.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, this young lady called Londa. Hello, Carly Henry. How are you, ma'am? It is a blessing to see you on today. I'm gonna go back and I'm looking for her channel. Her is.
I didn't know he dropped the paternity. I thought that he had to let's say yeah, like you said, that fraud, all the fraud stuff that he been doing in the paperwork. I think they got two cases with him and with the godmother, right?
Yeah, I heard that he had dropped one of the cases, but another case is still going. To where they said that the
Right.
judge is making Diddy. I mean, not Diddy. Jay-Z go ahead and take the paternity test, because I know one of the cases was dismissed, but then there was another case that he had going that the judge said no. This is the final straw. We're gonna. There's enough evidence to go with the. There's enough evidence to go with the to go forward with the filing.
Right. And see, the godmother have a separate case with Jay-Z also.
Oh, do she? Oh, okay. I didn't hear about that.
Yeah.
I was just watching her channel. Let me see if I can, because I thought it would be in my history, but it's not.
To find it for you now.
Her name is London. And she was talking about the Jay-Z case. No, I don't want London like London, but all right, I think it's London. Let me see. I'm going through all of the things now. And I'm going to see if I can find her, because I was just listening to her earlier today. Oh, yeah, Miss Lowdown. Miss Lowdown. Here it is, Miss Lowdown. Okay. I'm saying London. All right. So let's go to her live and let's see. She was just talking about that. So let's go to the video. And yeah, here it is right here. This is what I was watching earlier. Okay, Carla, you have to turn it. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's take a look at this, peoples, because this is what she was saying earlier. And this was just only 5 hours ago.
Excuse me.
Okay, y'all. So it's looking like there is a light at the end of that tunnel, y'all. For Ramir, finally, it's looking like a judge is stepping up to the plate and about to let Ramir get some justice for a change. Finally, he has things going his way. Out of all of these years of trying to get answers from his pawpaw, allegedly, okay, he is finally about to get some answers, y'all. Okay. So word on the street is the judge has now ruled in Ramirez's favor, and we're about to talk about it. Okay, y'all. So hello and welcome to my channel. Please like, share, and subscribe if you like this video. And thank you all so much for watching. Thank you to my day ones, twos, and threes. Thank you to all my new subscribers that's coming in. That means well. Thank you all so very much. I appreciate you all, and welcome. This video is for entertainment and educational purposes only, so everything is alleged, some is not, and the fair accuse is in my description box, y'all. So let's get to it, y'all. Let's get to it. First, I want to say happy Saturday. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Please stay safe and all that good stuff. Please stay aware of your surroundings. And please, y'all, watch the company that you keep, because it just may save your life or keep you out of trouble. Okay, y'all? So let's get to it. Word on the street is, y'all, Ramirez finally getting somewhere. And everybody's starting to report about it, okay? As y'all know, he has been trying to, get this paternity test done. He just need a little DNA, Jay-Z, that's all. Just to see if you are his pawpaw. And Jay-Z, as y'all know, has been running for over 14 years from this test. And he's still trying to run. But it's looking like now the ball is in Ramirez's court, and it's time for him to get some justice for a change and not keep continuing to get bullied and pushed aside just because somebody got money. So now reports are coming out that, y'all, the judge has ruled in Ramirez's favor, and he's basically saying that, this case is about to be moved to discovery, y'all. Okay, this is what they're saying, and they're giving Jay-Z some time to tell his side of the story. Of course, he's gonna be coming with some more motions because he loves motions. Okay, y'all. He loves to try to find a little hole that he could just slither through, and beat the system like he always do. Okay, y'all. But anyway, y'all, word on the street is they are moving to discovery now. This is what the judge is saying, and yes, I know it's confusing because he dropped the charge. But word on the street is he had filed in different places. So one of the places he dropped the charges. So I guess he still has charges in other places. I don't know how this works. But word on the street is, even though he dropped those charges, the judge is moving forward on both sides. Okay? They're telling them, this is what the judge is saying, that Jay-Z is going to be able to allow to tell his part of the story. And Ramirez is going to be able to, tell his part of the story, which is going to be very interesting for him to tell his story to the judge, okay? Especially with all the stuff he's been going through, car getting hit up and all this stuff. Oh yeah, this is going to be really interesting. Not to mention the fact that somebody tried to put a weapon in his car and try to get him locked up, okay, y'all? So this is going to be really interesting to see what's about to happen.
I started Tai Chi at 50. Now I'm 68, and doctors.
So I am so proud of Ramirez for hanging in there. And he just like Jay-Z's best friend, P. Diddy. He can't stop, won't stop. And he is getting to the bottom of this mess one way or the other. And I'm going to say this, when he had threw that case out a lot of people was questioning him and thinking that he had got paid off because the daughter got paid off, allegedly. She got a $1.7 million house. So everybody was thinking that Ramir must have got paid off too because, you know, he dropped the charges, but he had to. Because Jay-Z's team is good at, you know, trying to find loopholes. And he had to drop that charge. Not because he wanted to, but he had to. So he can reboot and come another way. And now they are. And word on the street is not only is the judge making Jay-Z now, you know, come to some kind of agreement, because they're saying either you're going to give up this DNA so we can find out if he's your son or not, because they tired of running around. This is what the judge is saying. Or you're going to have to work something out with him. And I don't think he's going to work nothing out now, especially after when that trial, you know, that case got dropped. He came out to everybody that's been supporting him. And he said, thank you all for supporting me. Please continue to support me. And he said, I am not no sellout, basically. He's not going to just take some money and not say nothing to people and let them know what's going on. He said he's going to let you know, even though it's his business. He's saying that he ain't that type of person. Just take the money and run and don't say nothing to nobody about what's going on and this and that and that and this. But yes, this is what he came out and said. He said he was not paid off. He said he had to drop it, but it's not over. And we see that now it's not over, because even though they got dropped, the judge is saying this is moving to discovery, and you all are going to have to work this out some type of way, because ain't no more ripping and running around no more. You are going to have to, you know, own up. If this your son, this your son. If it ain't your son, then you both can move on, and you ain't got to keep doing all of this ripping and running. And he don't got to keep trying to ask you anymore to take these tests. My only thing is, I hope that if they do this test, that the judge makes sure that this is not messed with. This test is not messed with, because we know now that Jay-Z and I'm just saying P. Diddy now, they don't play fair. And it's a possibility that they might try to get somebody to mess with this DNA test if he do take it, just to make it look like he's not his son. So yeah, y'all, it's a lot going on in Jay-Z's world. All right. He studied making excuses instead of taking a test, talking about his businesses. Oh, I'm not just a rapper. I'm a businessman, and I'm this, I'm that. What they got to do with you taking this DNA to find out if this your son or not? They don't have nothing to do with it. So this is why he keep on coming up with the judge saying that they just trying to, you know, he's after money. He's stalking me. He's this, he's that. Well, he ain't going to stalk you no more if you do the test, are you? He ain't going to have no choice but to leave you alone if he find out you're not his pawpaw. But if he is his pawpaw, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay? Hey, get ready to get another loan on another house, because you're going to have to pay up. Okay? Now, speaking of paying up, y'all, word on the street is the judge also agreed with everybody else that Ramir shouldn't have to pay no court costs. Word on the street, y'all. The judge said he don't have to pay, which don't make any sense. That Jay-Z would do this to him. He just want to know if you his daddy, and you putting legal fees on him. You know he ain't got much money. Not only is he putting legal fees on him, but he tried to take the roof from over his head, y'all. He tried to take the man's house that he was living in. Put a lien on it or something, y'all. This is what he did, because they tried to sell it, and that's when they found out that Jay-Z had did some type of mess, so that, you know, just to have something to hold over him. And, you know, we'll take this lien off if you leave me alone. You know what I'm saying? Type of situation, which don't make no sense. This child just want to know if you is his daddy. And you should want to know too. That's the crazy part about this. But these are all the people that's posting it up. Jay-Z is blocked from making Ramir Satterwhite pay court fees after paternity case was dropped. So the judge said he ain't gonna have to pay these fees. You know he ain't got it. Just like Tasha K. She ain't got it. He ain't got it. So the judge came to this conclusion that you're going to have to pay your own fees, not him. Because it wouldn't have got to this point in the first place if you wouldn't have kept continuing it from one courtroom to a courtroom to another to another. The reason why all of these legal fees added up is because you keep running. I know you and your wife got a song called on the run, but that don't mean you're supposed to be running from your responsibilities. And I know people like, oh, he's grown, but he's been running from this, his son, alleged son, since he was young, y'all. Just how long this has been going on. A long time, over 14 years. So 14 years ago, he still was supposed to be held responsible for him if this is his child. He lost his mama. The least he could do is give him closure. And Jay-Z too dirty to do it. Okay. I hope when he find out, if he find out that he's Jay-Z's son, I really do hope, and I know people are going to be like, oh, you a hater. I don't care. But I hope that the NFL people drop him like a bad habit, because this is bad that you running around here for 14 years dodging somebody just because you want to have this perfect world, you and Beyonce, and not have no outside kids. Beyonce is used to outside kids. Her daddy got outside kids. So I don't understand why he thought that this was a good idea to run. Just made them look totally bad. Not only do this make Jay-Z look bad, but it makes Beyonce look bad. You think she didn't know that he was running around here trying to get a DNA from Jay-Z? You think she didn't know? Why couldn't she tell her husband, go on, take the test and see if he's yours?
This is about to be the most profitable 60 seconds of your life.
Case Connect, a revolutionary new AI.
But instead of doing that, they want to, hey, I'm recording. Stop playing with toys. Instead of doing that, they want to run around here and pretend like they something that they're not. This is what they chose to do. So it is what it is. Okay, y'all? It is what it is. If you the daddy, you're going to stand up to your responsibilities. You're going to pay him for pain and suffering from chasing you for over 14 years. Over 14 years. Not only did he chase after him for the find out if he's a daddy, but before his mother passed away, she was trying to find out, was he the daddy? And she got to run around too. And she mysteriously passes away while she's trying to find out if this is her baby daddy. Okay, y'all? One excuse after another. Everything that they threw his way, they tried their best, to let the judge know why this was this and that was this. Because they keep throwing the fact that, oh, she accused another man of being the daddy. She been said that. She said either Jay-Z is the daddy or this other guy is the daddy. And the other guy had signed his birth certificate. They had to cancel out that signature, all of that stuff. I mean, this guy been going through he been running through the ringer, y'all. Okay? And the other guy took the test, found out he wasn't the father. They canceled out that birth certificate and did him another birth certificate without a father on there, just so they could continue to go after Jay-Z, because they couldn't go after Jay-Z with another father saying that that's his son. So it's been a whirlwind of mess since this. He was a little something, y'all. It's been a whirlwind of trying to find out, is he the father? This is so pathetic. It doesn't make sense. And this makes the NFL and everything that they're attached to look bad. Even a Disney deal that they got, this makes them look bad. Disney is about children, right, y'all? Why in the world would you not want to know if this is your child? Who does this? And it's crazy because you would think that he made him while he was with Beyonce. This was before Beyonce. It was before he was with Beyonce. So if that's the case, what is the problem? This don't make him look bad. He had this child before he got married. So what's the problem, y'all? Ask yourself this question. What is the problem? Just for an image? You doing this just so y'all can have an image? It's crazy. But anyway, y'all, congratulations to Ramir. He don't have to pay these court fees. Thank God that he don't have to pay these court fees. And hopefully that lien comes off his house, his granny or his caregiver's house. Hopefully that lien comes off of there as well. And, that gets overturned as well. So far, Ramir is Things are looking up for him, y'all. So congratulations to Ramir, and we're still out here waiting to see if you're gonna get that justice, Ramir. Okay, we still are out here pushing for you to find out who that baby daddy is. Okay. Anyway, y'all, let me know what y'all think about this whole situation and the judge, finally getting down to the nitty gritty and not letting Jay-Z, keep running. Y'all let me know what y'all think about the situation. What do you all think is going to go happen after he find out that this is his father? Y'all think that it's going to be a big payout from just the runaround from all of these years? I don't see how he did it, to be honest with y'all. Over 14 years of from one court to another, and each time you have them dismissing the case. Never nobody getting down to the nitty gritty. Always dismiss. And like he said before, this is going to be bigger than just finding out if this is daddy, because now he is the poster child, to be honest with y'all, of judges dismissing stuff when they shouldn't have. So this is going to open up a whole nother can of worms for all these judges to let money talk instead of, I'm just saying, y'all, getting justice. Okay. So y'all let me know what y'all think. What is next for Ramir after he find out that this is Pawpaw? But even if he ain't his Pawpaw, I still think that he has a case against these judges that kept dismissing this over and over and over again and giving him the runaround. I think he's still got a case toward them. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Please like, share, and subscribe if you like the video.
Okay, so people's panel, I want your honest, brutal opinion as to what you think. I want to get your honest, brutal opinion, because as it stated that, Jay-Z may be his father, but then Jay-Z may not be his father. And so, there's an argument both ways. Just because he looks like Jay-Z, does that mean that he has the right to force Jay-Z into taking a paternity test? Or what? Is this going to set a precedence?
Well, what's the harm? What's the harm in taking a DNA test? At least, even if he isn't, then he could put that behind him, right? And they both can go their separate ways.
But it's not as simple as we may try to put it in things, because Jay-Z just absolutely don't want to take the test. Now, should he be forced to take the test?
Hell yeah.
Or under what grounds?
Under any ground where, hey, if you going before the court and juvenile and domestic relations court, hey, if you say that he's the daddy, they're gonna do it anyway, whether you are a regular person or not. They're gonna make the alleged daddy to take the DNA test.
But he hasn't taken it thus far, and it's been so many years now.
Well, he need to go ahead and take
it. Colleen Henry, what is your thoughts, Mel? Colleen Henry, what is your thoughts? Randall Robinson, what is your thoughts? Okay, chats, what is your thoughts? Mariah Lavender said that he needs to take the test and get it done. Island Girl had said that he doesn't want them to know he slept with a 16-year-old. Well, yeah, that can be a reason why he doesn't want to take the test. He would be known as what? The Pedialyte? Ricky Davis says he needs to just take the dances and stop running. Gina to you said, it's too late. The cat's out the bag. Go ahead and fess up. Mariah Lavender said he keeps spending money in court filings. Caller Henry had said in a private chat that he knows that's his son. He doesn't want the truth to come out. No, I get what everybody is saying, but my question is, should it be forced just because? You know, now if he is forced to take the DNA test, well then that's going to set a precedence for a lot of these women, you know, out there that may proclaim that some of these football stars and stuff are their child's father. And so should they be forced to take the test, even though the child may or may not resemble them in things?
Well, see, I thought if you take the test and if they find out that you're not the father, then it falls back on the other person and they have to pay the expenses. Right?
Oh yeah. No, you're right. You're absolutely right.
So what's the harm?
Well, it's just like what Island Girl had said. He doesn't want them to know that he slept with a 16-year-old.
That's why I said it's too late. The cat out the bag. Everybody know it.
Well, he should have kept his sneaky dinky in his pants, right? But you know, hey,
7, 8, 9, 10 times he should have kept that in his pants.
Well, I mean, but is it any difference than Shannon Sharp going and mess with the little white girl?
No different.
And look, she got paid big time, and she can retire. She got what, 23 million out of all of that. Now she can go ahead and retire. Behind, and you know what's really a kicker behind that is that even Cat Williams and what's that lady's name? The one who had warned him to go ahead and get him some buttermilk and stuff.
Oh, Jaguar, right?
No, the other lady. Shannon Sharp and Shannon Sharp and who is that girl, that lady? Y'all help me out. Y'all know who she is. I can't think of her name.
Monique.
Yeah, Monique.
Thank you, Vicky.
Yeah, thank you, Vicky. Monique. She had literally had warned him to go ahead and give him some chocolate milk. But no, he wanted the vanilla milkshake. I mean, and now look, he's out of ESPN losing $100 million a year. $100 million.
Like I said, he's gonna be asking that girl for $1 million back because he broke.
And you know the kicker part is that that his daughter was going to have a wedding, and he was only going to give her $32,000 for the wedding. $32,000 for the wedding, and he's giving this woman, this white girl, millions because he's popping her in the behind hole, and he can't even give his daughter a good wedding. Ain't that something? That's crazy. But, you know, Vicky Davis says, cuss word, the tests are abbreviated. It's autocorrect. Just put what they want to put. We already know that rather than he takes the test or not. Getting to you, had said facts, Vicky. Vicky Davis said Shannon Sharp got another case too. What? So this man had to spend over $23 million to shut this case down, got fired from ESPN, lost a $100 million contract, and now he's out with another case? Really? Oh my God. Wow. Where have I been? Oh, Vicky Davis said, yes, I read it yesterday. Wow. That is crazy. That is crazy. So, what is you guys' honest opinion? What do you think is going to happen to Jay-Z? Because you already know that if it comes out to be true that Jay-Z had sex with this young girl at the age of 16, and he was like, what, 27? 16, 27, so that's almost 10 years. Almost 10 years. One, what was Jay-Z doing with a 16-year-old? To be doing all that stuff at the age of 16.
I think they're gonna leave the country.
You think some charges can be brought up with all of that time that had elapsed? Or is the statute of limitations has already run out?
I don't know. I don't think he can go to jail behind it.
But he can be financially.
Yeah.
He can be financially hit behind it in a major way, huh?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
So he will end up having to spend all of that money upon Ramir.
Yep.
You know, because his back child support and everything.
Yep.
Not only that, but pain and suffering. Not only that, but mental abuse, neglect, abandonment. Mm-hmm. So Ramir is going to be an instant millionaire. Either way it goes.
Yep, he sure is.
So whether he wants to go ahead and whether he wants to persecute for money or not, he's going to be an instant millionaire because, you know, this man had literally said that he's not the father and he's been evading his responsibility forever and a day. But my question is, what was he doing with the 16-year-old? Why was he going around messing with the 16-year-old? She was only 1'6".
Keep in mind, there is some 16-year-olds that look way older, but I'm not giving him a pass because he should have known that.
Well, okay, so we're looking back way back. We're not looking back at the time to when they put these growth hormones in the milk and cheese and crackers and all of that stuff. You know, because I remember that back in the day when I was growing up, you know, the girls were skinny. They didn't have hips and thighs and breasts and all this like they have now and stuff. You know, so we didn't have all of those growth hormone products and GMOs in our foods and things.
You didn't have to have it. I mean, you could have been tall and skinny, and you still, people thought you were older than what you were.
Well, I mean, well, when I was growing up, the girls looked their age. You know, we all looked the girls and guys, we all looked our age. Well, but as time has went by, yeah, things got a little different, and you know, people got a little weighty and a little meatier and things like that and stuff. But you can always tell, well, at least back in the day, you can always tell that a girl was of a young age and stuff because of their attitude. Now, what was this girl? See, I don't know his mother. I never seen his mother, so I don't even know what she even looks like. Is she light skinned? Anybody seen her mother? Have you seen her? Have you seen his mother?
I have
You haven't seen it?
no.
I haven't seen her either, so I don't even know what she looks like. Anybody in the chat seen his mother? Here, well, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's look up Rymir's mother. Let's see if we can get in. Island Girl says she is dark skinned, so let's see if we can get anything up on Rymir's mother. Okay, so we got all of this good stuff up on we got all of this good stuff up on Instagram. Rymir's mom on TikTok.
Vicky shared a link with you.
Huh?
Vicky shared a link with you in the group chat.
Oh, okay. Here, let me go ahead and go there. Let me click that. Okay, that was Shannon Sharp. Okay, I'll get on that in a second. Let me go back. Let me go to Rymir's thing. All right, so here, let me go. I'll get on Shannon Sharp in a moment. Let me go back to Rymir's thing because I want to see who his mom is. So let's take a look at that. And let's take a look at TikTok. See what we got on TikTok. Okay, so Rymir's mom. So let's take a look at this one.
And this is the son that she claimed that she had fathered or mothered with Jay-Z, and this is Wanda. Now, when Wanda had been diagnosed with heart failure in 2011, Wanda gave her son Ramin, I think that's how you pronounce his name. She turned over custody to her son to his godmother, who goes by the name of Lily. And Lily had been taking on that fight for Wanda to get Jay-Z to take a paternity test. Jay-Z's legal team again denied Wanda's claims and still has never taken that paternity test. Now, here's where the story gets interesting. This is Wanda in the hospital. So the guy who she thought was her baby father, the father to her son, he goes by the name of Robert Graves. Robert Graves had contested that he didn't think that he was the father of that boy. So they took a paternity test and turns out he was not the father. And when he was determined to not be the father, the courts allowed him to be removed from the birth certificate. And then Wanda realized, wait, I also had schmirks with somebody else who goes by the name of Sean Carter. So her son has no biological father listed on his birth certificate. And that is the reason why she had been fighting through the courts to get Sean Carter to take a paternity test. Because at the time she was trying to get that paternity test, her son was still a minor. You catching the story? But yeah, I wonder whatever happened to this kid. And I wonder if he's still fighting the courts to get that paternity test done, because that's really sad that he had been fighting them all these years just to find out that he might be this boy's father. And this is the son that she claimed that she had fathered or mothered with Jay-Z, and this is Wanda. Now, when Wanda had been diagnosed with heart failure in 2011, Wanda gave her son Ramin, I think that's how you pronounce his name. She turned over custody to her son to his godmother, who goes by the name of Lily. And Lily had been taking on that fight for Wanda to get Jay-Z to take a paternity test. Jay-Z's legal team again denied Wanda's claims and still has never taken that paternity test. Now, here's where the story gets interesting. This is Wanda in the hospital. So the guy who she thought was her baby father, the father to her son, he goes by the name of Robert Graves. Robert Graves, had contested that he didn't think that he was the father of that boy. So they took a paternity test and turned out he was not the father. And when he was determined to not be the father, the courts allowed him to be removed from the birth certificate. And then Wanda realized, wait, I also had schmirked with somebody else who goes by the name of Sean Carter. So her son has no biological father listed on his birth certificate. And that is the reason why she had been fighting through the courts to get Sean Carter to take a paternity test. Because at the time she was trying to get that paternity test, her son was still a minor. You catching the story? But yeah, I wonder whatever happened to this kid. And I wonder if he's still fighting the courts to like get that paternity test done, because that's really sad that he had been fighting them all these years just to find out that he might be this boy's father. Like, and this is the son that she claimed that she had fathered.
Okay, so I thought that the the thing, had already spoken thing. I mean, the live had already spoken and stuff, but then I didn't know that it was repeating itself. But his mom really doesn't look too bad at all, She really doesn't look too bad at all. So, wow, that's interesting. Mariah Lavender had said them young girls wanted to be around them so-called rappers back in New York. But his mother is not ugly at all. She is not ugly at all. She is not ugly at all. So I'm trying to get more pictures of what she looked like, because that was kind of like a behind the scene thing, but it really didn't show her face and things. So let's see here. So okay, it keeps saying Ramirez's mom, but then they're not showing Ramirez's mom. All right, let's see. Let's look at another one here and see if we can see his mom. She finally spoke truth. Okay, maybe this is her. Let's take a look.
They finally spoke, and what Letitia and Ramir shared might explain why Jay-Z's been silent for decades. This story just got deeper and darker. After Letitia Mason discovered genetic ties to the Carter family through Ancestry DNA, she reached out to Ramir Satterthwaite. And the moment they connected, everything changed. Sources say their first conversation was emotional, intense, and strangely validating, because for the first time, they each realized they weren't alone. Both children said their mothers had privately revealed Jay-Z as their father. Both had gone years hearing whispers but being dismissed. And both had been matched to Carter family members through DNA, but never given the final test. But what shook them the most? They both mentioned being approached privately. Letitia shared that she had been brought to a quiet meeting in New York City years ago, allegedly by people linked to Jay-Z, and was offered support in exchange for silence. Ramir said he too received offers that didn't sit right. The more they talked, the more they realized they weren't crazy. Their stories matched, their experiences aligned, and the tactics used to keep them quiet, too similar to ignore. Whispers inside the industry say what many have feared. There's been a deliberate effort to keep them both invisible, to protect Jay-Z's image and avoid a public storm that could shake the Carter empire. So what does it mean when two strangers from two different worlds end up telling the same exact story? What would you do if your father was one of the most powerful men in music and the world refused to believe you? Ramir and Letitia aren't just looking for attention. They're looking for answers, and they may have found them in each other. I'm just saying, if two strangers can tell the same story with the same pain and the same proof, how long can the world keep looking away? Jay-Z might have ignored them, but we won't. Hit that follow button and stay tuned for more.
Okay, so we got a chance to kind of see her a little bit in things. again, she's a nice looking young lady. You know, I just need to see like instead of the little pictures that they're showing, I want to see just like a real picture of her. Um, Other than the little picture that they keep showing her, or maybe that's just the only picture that they have of her and things. Okay, so let's get out of TikTok and then let's see if we can find something else that shows who Ryanair's mom is. Let's go to images. So let's see. Okay, so I guess this is her right here. So let's enlarge this. Okay, now, okay, so there she is right there, peoples. There she is right there. She's a cute young lady, you know? Now we finally get a chance to see her. Yeah, she is a she's a dark skinned lady. And she had that look back in the day and things. So I see why Jay-Z would, because look at Jay-Z and the way that he dressed and looked back in the day and stuff, not how he's looking now and stuff. So I accidentally kicked myself off, people's. All right, so let me go back and share the screen. So there she is right there, people's, in the flesh right there. There she is. So now we finally get a chance to see Ramirez's mom and things and stuff. Uh, Jay-Z been a very busy. This Negro has been a very busy person, boy, because not only does he have this supposed son, but then he has another daughter. I'm just now figuring this out right here. God dang, how many kids does Jay-Z have, boy? I thought he only just had I thought he only just had Blue Ivy and Sir and Remy, but no, he's got more kids, son. Well, I don't see too many pictures of his mom, other than I can see the pictures of no, they're not showing too many pictures of his mom, so you know I don't see too many uh pictures other than just those couple of pictures that they showed. So okay, okay, so let's see what you sent here. Let's see what you sent here. Oh, okay. Okay, cool, 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 cool. Yeah, this is some good information right here. All right. Yeah, this is some very good information right here, peoples. Ah, this is interesting. Okay, so let's see here, peoples. So we're gonna transition. Let's see what who had sent this here. Let me go back to there. Okay, so let's go back and see what Vicky Davis had sent in the chat. So y'all give me a second. I'm going to stop sharing the screen for a moment. Let me go back to the thing here. So this is the lead attorney. I've seen some of his videos before. So let's take a look at this here, people. So let me go ahead and share this screen right here. This is the lead attorney.
Guys, our man Shannon Sharpe is taking loss after loss after loss. First, we all know that Shannon paid Gabriella Zuniga tens of millions of dollars to settle that lawsuit. So many people thought it was so crazy that he got extorted by this 19-year-old. You'll remember that she was the one texting Shannon that it would be $25,000 per cheek. She was texting Shannon saying, "Hey, what's taking so long? Where's the cash?" This is the girl sending Shannon text saying, "I want you to choke me, daddy," and then turned around and filed a $50 million lawsuit claiming that he was choking her. Oh, it was pure extortion, and it worked. Reports say that she got over $20 million from the lawsuit. Shannon's almost 60 years old, but this young 20-something is laughing all the way to the bank at his expense. It's interesting also that a lot of people were calling Shannon Sharpe out for the way that he treated Gabriella Zuniga versus the way that he treated his own daughter. People noted that he was paying Miss Zuniga tens of thousands of dollars, which turned into millions, but would only pay a small amount for his own daughter's wedding.
I don't know what you could have. I ain't the one getting married.
Oh, come on now, Unc. Why you gonna do your daughter like that now? You're paying the white girl. Oh,
I don't give
come on, Unc. Our man Unc was wilding out. And a lot of people ask, what's the difference? Why do you think that Gabriella Zuniga deserves so much more than your own daughter?
But that's why, and people wonder why they don't get the blessings that someone else. Ask yourself.
What?
See, you think you're doing everything right, but see, God know your heart. See, you can fool everybody else, but you can't fool that man upstairs, and you wonder why. Ask yourself. Ask yourself when you're alone and you by yourself.
All right, shout out to Unc. He's saying some people deserve blessings and other people don't, and you got to ask yourself when you're alone. And that's fine, that's all good, but look at what has become of Shannon Sharpe. Not only did he have to pay Zuniga tens of millions of dollars, but it came out yesterday that he has been fired from ESPN.
Now, see, people, this is what I say all the time. You cannot play with God. You keep invoking God into all of this mess and madness and things and stuff, and you can't play with him. Either you're going to serve him in spirit and in truth, or you're not. You can't play with God. And so the Lord just turned his own deviant, devilish, and demonic madness right up against him and things. Because see, Shannon Sharpe, I don't know who the man is. I've only heard of him and stuff, but then that of what I've heard of him was kind of like, oh my God, dude is just literally wigging out and stuff. So he all the time had something smart to say about people. Well, look, people, all of that smart stuff that he had to say about the people, look what happened. It came right back up on him. And so now, look, the man is out of a job. He's out of the man is out of job. He's out $100 million. He wanted to be a freak, so he became a freak. And then his little freak elite type of thing, people, look what happened to him. He lost his empire, all because of white chocolate. He wanted to bust her little rosy buns. And that's what he did. She took it every which way but loose. Oh my God. Yeah, but see, all of that salacious stuff that he had did to her, because she was just like Cassie Ventura. She was a freak. But these black men just don't get it. You want to mess with white chocolate. Well, white chocolate is going to serve you on a silver platter. and they're going to take you everything for what you got. So they'll let you taste the little rosy cherry cheeks and things, you know. They'll let you taste a little strawberry jam and all like that and stuff. But at the end of the day, people's chocolate and strawberries, they say is a mix, but nah, you better keep the chocolate by itself. See, I don't eat chocolate with strawberries. I'm sorry. And I don't eat white chocolate, peoples. I eat chocolate. You know, I eat chocolate. I'm not into that vanilla ice cream and, you know, strawberry whipped cream and shit like that. No, just give me some chocolate. But that serves these black Negroes right, because Monique and what's his name? Dang, I forgot his name. Cat Williams. Cat Williams had literally he met her at a Diddy party. No, he met her at a gym working out and stuff. And so he wanted to go ahead and get that white chocolate. Hello, Nosy Bug. How are you, ma'am? It is a blessing to see you on tonight. Nosy Bug says home safely and listening. Sleep it off, ma'am. Sleep it off. But see, you know, people, this is what I say. These Negroes that wants to sit around here and mess with the white chocolate all the time get themselves in a whole world of trouble. And that's exactly what they get. Any and everything that comes to them, that's exactly what they get. And from the little that I know about Shannon Sharp and the things that he's been saying and whatnot, well then, hey, you know, serves him right. I said it serves him right because, again, she was a hoe. She was a prostitute. She was a freak. She was just like Cassie Ventura. Did you listen to all of the salacious text messages that she was sending to him and stuff? And she wanted him to pay for her white chocolate. Well, yeah, daddy, you can do it any type of way, daddy. You know, do it this way, do it that way, daddy. Doesn't that sound familiar, peoples? Daddy. I like the way you scrap and scrape, daddy. Isn't that what Diddy did and Diddy said, peoples? All of this daddy stuff. Why, you know, it just amazes me, peoples. Why do these black Negroes all the time want these people to call them daddy when they can't even take care of their own kids? They want the white people to call them daddy. But what type of daddy are you that you want to be going ahead and busting the rosy red cheeks of this girl? And you should have already saw the writing up on the wall when you first met her, because when she's saying, send me $15,000 and you can take a look at one cheek, $15,000 just to take a look at her little rosy red cheek. Just imagine what she's charging him to take a look at her cherry poon. You know? Just imagine that. She already told you she was a freak. She already told you that she was about money. And all of the text messages that was revealed thus far to us and stuff was all about money. But the Negro wanted the white chocolate. And so all of you black Negroes out there and stuff, you can go ahead and you can mess with that white chocolate as much as you want to. But that white chocolate, if you got money, is going to take you to the cleaners every single time. So you better get you a healthy, out of shape, black woman. A hoggata is what they call them. You know, they call them Wollertons. They call them women with extra meat on the bones. You know, they call them thick. They call them juicy. They call them voluptuous. They call them a Southern belle. But whatever you get You better be satisfied that you got you a nice woman that is going to go ahead and cook and clean for you. You know, rub you down with some hot oil. You know, and not doing the ditty. But you better settle down with a woman that's gonna cook you some cornbread and macaroni and cheese and some collard greens, some fried chicken. You know, boy, am I too much, y'all? You better settle down with Willita. You know, the belly full of jelly and the backside full of. Oh, crazy, y'all. Let me stop. But
A backside full of biscuits.
Hey, it puts some in that what they call that old maple syrup on there. Hey, get some of that hog mog and hog head cheese. Oh my God. Man, these Negroes, they don't know what they missing when you got you a nice chocolate brown round, you know? They don't know what they're missing, but they want to go with vanilla ice cream. That sour cream. Man, look at here. But they tried to warn this man. Oh my God, people. Man, I need to slow down because I'm gonna laugh my head off here. But no, but on a serious tip, it is really sad to see this man goes from riches to rags. You know, from riches to rags. It's really sad. Really, really sad, people, that this man goes from riches to rags in this, you know. But that's what happens, people, you know. But the tall tale signs are there. The tall tale signs are there. And it shouldn't have happened, but it did happen. And you know why it happened? Because this nigga had a mouthpiece on him. First, he's over here making parodies and things and, you know, invoking God's name and to all of his stuff and saying, well, you better go think for yourself and this and that. And no. See, you can pass that madness upon to other people, Shannon Sharp, but you brought that upon yourself, brother, because the people tried to warn you. See, the one good thing about God is God will warn you. He said warning comes before destruction. And so he tried to warn you. He put people on your path for a reason to try to talk some sense into you and stuff and to stop speaking his name into the vain madness that you're speaking. But yet you continue. You continue and you continue and you continue for years. And so great is the fall. You know, you had it all, but now you fall. And you fall all because of your lustfulness. Your lustfulness. Vicky Davis has said, stupidest crap I have ever heard. Why do you want a person you have sex with to call you daddy? Peoples, I don't understand that. What is this thing with daddy? I love the way you scrap and scrape, daddy. Yeah, I love the way you scrap and scrape, daddy. But man, look at here, peoples. You know, I'm not going to even go there. I said I'm not going to even go there tonight. But Vicky Davis has said that's sickening, and he better never call me mama. It's game over forever. Now, would you ladies, would you like for men to call you mama? Or would you like for men to call you lady? Or would you like for men to call you girl? You know, I mean, what would you like the men to call you? I never understood that concept. Call me daddy. What is the daddy come from? You know, you're a grown man and you're a grown woman. So why would you want someone to call you daddy? Now, I mean, as for me, people, I never role played like that. You know, it's just I'm just old school. I'm sorry, I'm just old school. I've been raised around my elders and things, and I just have an old soul, so I can't get with all of this new age type of call me daddy, this role play type of stuff. I mean, that's just me. Now, whatever you do is what you do, but that's just me. I never understood that, but hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. Is that all right, people? But see, it just burns me up because of the simple fact that here it is, another black man that was successful and, you know, uncanny in his own right. I mean, you know, he's Shannon Sharp. He says what he says. He shoots his shot. He does what he does and things, you know. So, I mean, that's who he is. So, and he was very successful in what he did and stuff. And so I don't take away from his accomplishment, peoples. I just look at him sideways at his stupidity and the various things that he has done. He put himself in that position, and it was no justification for it whatsoever, peoples. He did that. It's what I want the people to understand. He did that. And so he cannot blame no one else but himself for going after the white chocolate. But he should have already known from the beginning when she first said that, no, you got to pay me $15,000 just to see one cheek. Dude, it's time to run and run far and fast away. Get you a good attorney and brace yourself because, man, but you got played. You got played big time by old school. This girl was young. She ain't even had no college education. She ain't did nothing. And what she did was she sold herself online. She sold pictures and videos of herself to all of these different people. And they paid her to do so. So looking at her picture, man, she wasn't hot at all to me. You know? She wasn't hot at all to me. And so I'm kind of like, well, goddamn. I mean, you know, you could have at least, if you was going to play with the vanilla, you could have picked out somebody who was good looking, but shit, man. I don't know. What you guys think? In my eyes, this girl wasn't good looking at all, but she was a freak. And she told you she was a freak because she told you to send her $15,000 for some pictures of one little cheek. Who is going to sit here and spend $15,000 just to see a cheek of a girl? Who's going to do that, peoples? It ain't enough cheeks in the world for me to spend $15,000 just to look at one cheek. Really? Really? So for her to ask for that kind of money already shows me that she was desperate. So he may not have been giving her much money and things and stuff, because for her to keep asking for $15,000, I mean, so he wasn't coming off of nothing, you know. So it's unfortunate, Shannon Sharp, man. You know, you brought that up on yourself, brother, and that's just, it's really sad. But it's really sickening too, people, is to just see the black men go down in the manner to which this man was taken. And he should have seen all of the red flags, but he didn't. Now let this be a lesson to all of you black chocolate men out there that likes this vanilla ice cream. You know, you guys better wake up and smell the coffee, because unless you are fully in love with the person and you guys think that you can really grow and get to know and do all like this and stuff, man, you better walk far away from vanilla. You better walk far away from vanilla, because once they start to put those letters together, it's R-A-P-E. Well, then what do you say? What is it that you say, people? When they start to put those letters R-A-P-E together and it spells out a certain word, well, then what is it that you're going to say? It's crazy. But it is what it is, peoples. And see, my peoples came into the house. Hello, little Bo Peep. How are you, ma'am? It is a blessing to see you on tonight. Little Bo Peep says, blessings to everyone. My husband is white chocolate, and I love me some candy. Well, and that's what I say. Unless you are in love, well, then it ain't no need to be experimenting. Now you can love you some white chocolate and things. Hey, that's what your preference is. Hey, who am I to complain? But what I'm saying is that if love ain't involved in it, people, y'all better run far away. Now, I'm not saying that black men can't, be with white women or marry white women or anything like that itself. All I'm saying is, when a person is coming out and saying, look, send me $15,000 to see one cheek, well, then you've already known that she's a gold digger. And since you know she's a gold digger, it's time to run. It's time to get out that relationship. It's time to move on. It's time to sever all ties. It's time to pull up the anchor and set sail and move far away from that situation. But see, he was so enthralled by his lustful nature that he couldn't even see what was in front of him. In his friends, the people who he had on his show tried to talk some sense into him and say, hey, get you a Southern Belle that's going to cook you a good soul food meal. But Shannon Sharp is what, in his 50s? Man is already in his 50s and he's messing with a 20-year-old, 19, 20-year-old. So that was, what, 30 years difference or more? 30 years difference or more, peoples. I mean, she's legal. Okay, we give her that. She's legal. All right, I give her that, peoples. But why could the person not go ahead and get somebody his own age? Huh? Why? Why could the people not get somebody his own age? And that's the question, people. All right, so let's take a look at this, peoples.
Guys, the amount of money that Shannon Sharp has lost over this girl is insane. Not only was he paying the $25,000 per cheek here and there, but then the $20+ million to settle the lawsuit. Then he lost the ESPN contract, which was tens of millions of dollars more. This man alone has lost generational wealth for his entire bloodline. And now on top of that, guess what? He's getting sued for another $20 million, and he's going to pay. Mark my words, Shannon Sharp is going to pay off this lawsuit. Now, is he going to pay the whole $20 million? No, we saw from the Gabriella Zuniga lawsuit that that's not how the game is played. The women ask for a high amount, Shannon Sharp comes in low, and then they meet somewhere in the middle. Now we have another woman, the opposite of Miss Zuniga. This woman, an older black woman, she's going to get her slice of the pie too. Let's take a look here and see what is going on, it says here Shannon Sharpe is being sued for $20 million after the former ESPN star shamed a woman over a viral flirty video with Usher. All right, here is our man Shannon right here. And if we scroll down a little bit, we can see the plaintiff. This is the woman that is suing Shannon Sharpe for the $20 million. All right, the exact opposite of Ms. Zuniga. This woman appears to be in her 40s, and of course she's African American. Zuniga, 19 years old and a white woman. But listen, Shannon Sharpe is going to pay out all of these women apparently. All right, if we go back up, it seems that, let's see, the woman claims that Shannon Sharpe and Ocho Cinco, Ocho's on the hook too, knowingly propagated a false narrative about the woman's marital status. Says here that Sharpe, 57, just settled a $50 million lawsuit. He was officially let go of ESPN. In this lady's complaint, it says that on April 2nd, I participated in a fan engagement moment at a Usher Raymond concert where I interacted with the artist as a selected audience member. The interaction quickly went viral after fans noted the intensity between Tillman and Usher in the fun moment. And I think if we scroll up, we can see that moment right there. All right, there is the one and only, the talented Usher Raymond, and there is the plaintiff right there, hot and sweaty, ready to go. I think someone said, auntie, please, okay? And now what's the issue? She's having her moment with the one and only Usher Raymond. So what could have went wrong? As we scroll down, the plaintiff says, following the event, the defendants, Ocho Cinco and Shay Shay, made and disseminated false and defamatory statements suggesting that I was married and that my husband was filing for divorce due to my participation in this audience experience. I am not married, nor am I currently going through a divorce. She went on to explain, I was not married at the time of the fan participation moment during the Usher concert. Now on Twitter, guys, a lot of people are saying, come on, lady. Now you're asking for $20 million. You don't deserve it. This is a frivolous lawsuit. He didn't defame you. It was all jokes. But is that really the case? Did Shannon Sharpe defame this woman by saying that she was married when she really wasn't, and saying that her husband, who doesn't exist, was going to file divorce papers? To really analyze this, we need to have a little understanding of what defamation is. Here, guys, we can look at the 5 elements of defamation. Elements we can think of as just ingredients. If you have all 5 of these ingredients, all 5 of these factors, then you have defamation. So we're going to go through these quickly, and you tell me, do you think Shannon Sharpe is on the hook? The first element that you need is identity. So you must be able to prove that the statement in question is about you. Now we can see here from the picture that is obvious that this is the lady that they're talking about. So that's an easy element that she can check off. Then we go to the second publication. It says the statement must be published, meaning a third party must have seen, read, or heard about it. Guys, we know this to be true as well. This actually went viral. Millions of people saw Club Shay Shay talking about this lady and what her husband was going to do with these divorce papers. So we have identity here, and we also have the publication. Again, it went viral. Third is negligence. It's the third factor. You must prove the statement was made with a reckless disregard for the truth or negligently. Now, did Shannon Sharpe and Ocho, did they know this lady wasn't married, or did they just not care? Did they research it? Were they kind of being like journalists and fact checked it? Or did they just recklessly spout out these statements about this lady? You tell me in the comments, do you think that Shannon Sharpe recklessly disregarded whether or not this lady was actually married or not? Before we go any further, let's kind of delve into this negligence a little bit. Let's see what the article says about this whole situation. Now, the lady goes on to say that Shay Shay's and Ocho Cinco's false narratives were shared widely across their platforms, reaching millions of followers. Yes, and I think she tried to refute those false narratives, but their reach is so wide. The woman, who is a global director for the Harold Washington Cultural Center, said she even went on national media shows to refute refute the allegations from the ESPN First Take star that she was a married woman. All right, what else did the lady say? Ocho Cinco and Club Shay Shay continue to post the defamatory content across their social media platforms. I made numerous efforts to contact the defendants to request the removal of this false narrative, but these requests were disregarded. The single mother added, single mother, okay, I don't know why that was important, but the single mother added that the false statements have caused significant harm to my character and reputation. All right, guys, this is very important. Hold up, let's pause for a second for a quick word from our sponsor, Chapter Medicare. If you or someone you love is on Medicare, this matters. The Department of Justice just revealed a huge fraud case against top Medicare brokers, accusing them of steering seniors to plans paying the highest kickbacks and not the plans best for them. I've seen firsthand how confusing and frustrating Medicare can be. When I faced my own cancer diagnosis, even with my decades of legal experience, navigating the healthcare system felt impossible. That's exactly why I am partnering with Chapter Medicare. Chapter searches through every available Medicare plan to find the one truly tailored to your doctors, your prescriptions, and your budget, completely unbiased and free. On average, seniors who've worked with Chapter saved over $1,100 a year. So if you want straightforward, unbiased help, call Chapter right now at 572-243-0163 or visit ashchapter.org/lead. It's quick, it's free, and it could save you hundreds. The number's right here on the screen, 572-243-0163. Give yourself peace of mind today. If we take a look at our chart, what does this lady need to prove? She needs to prove the identity, that it's her. We got that. She needs to prove the publication. She can do that. It went viral. But the negligence again, she needs to prove that the statement was made with reckless disregard for the truth or negligently. Did Shannon Sharpe and Ocho Cinco make these statements recklessly? Did they disregard the truth? Well, I think they did, right? She's not married. She went on numerous TV shows apparently to try to prove that she wasn't married. She contacted them in numerous ways, according to her, to let them know that she was not married, and they disregarded all of her communications. This lady was pretty serious about trying to clear this up, but it all went to no avail. Now, I can tell you, we can kind of go a little bit deeper in the weeds about whether this lady is famous, whether she's a public figure or not. I'll just tell you pretty quickly that if you're a public figure, it's much harder to win these defamation cases because you're putting yourself out there in public. But the law says that if you're a private figure, then it's much easier to win on these claims. So even though she was pulled up on stage at this Usher event, and even though she went on news media to try to correct the narrative, the law is probably going to consider her a private figure, and that's going to make this a lot easier for her to win. So I think she's got the negligence factor too. The law is going to try to protect her a little bit because she's a private person, and you have Shannon Sharpe and Ocho Cinco who have millions and millions of followers and subscribers on their platforms making content about this lady who is not putting herself out there to be ridiculed like this. The fourth element is falsity. She's going to need to prove that the statement that she was married during this time was false. She's going to need to prove that her husband is not filing divorce papers against her. She's going to need to prove that those statements are all false. That's going to be easy for her. She's going to be able to testify that she's not married, and then Shannon Sharpe and Ocho Cinco are not going to be able to produce a marriage certificate showing that she was married at the time of the event. The last element is harm, all right? She's going to need to prove that the statement caused material or reputational injury. Now, again, this is going to kind of depend on whether she's considered a public figure or a private figure. Not to get too deep into it, but if she's considered a private figure, it's going to be easier for her to prove damages. We're going to continue to read the article, but what do you guys think right here? Has she shown identity, that the statement was about her? Has she shown that the statement was published? Has she shown that the statement was made in a reckless disregard for the truth? Has she shown that the statement was false? Can she show that? And can can she show that the statement caused material or reputational harm? For this last one, it's still a little up in the air. Let's see what the article says. This lady continues that the ongoing misinformation has resulted in emotional distress for the plaintiff, damaging her reputation and adversely affecting her personal and professional relationships. Now, guys, I know when we hear all emotional distress, we think, oh, forget it, it's all made up. But if this lady is a professional, I think she was the director at some center, and people are saying, hey, that's the lady that was up there with Usher. Did you know she's married? Did you know her husband is looking at filing a divorce? Her husband was so mad. How do you know her husband was mad? Well, that's what Club Shay Shay said. That's what Ocho Cinco said. She was up there dancing and looking deep into Usher's eyes. Can you believe this, Helpful? I absolutely believe that there could have been a lot of whisperings behind her back from people who tangentially knew her, but didn't know if she was married or not. This actually could have hurt her reputation, guys. The article continues that the woman is a Chicago native whose previously homeschooled daughter received her doctorate while still, what? Her daughter received a doctorate while still a teenager, and she taught her daughter. All right, this is a very important fact. Guys, this has nothing to do with the actual defamation case, but it shows you that this lady here is serious. Despite what we are seeing on the screen, and this lady's about 3 inches from Usher's face, this lady homeschooled her daughter, and while her daughter was in high school, her daughter earned a doctorate degree. That lets you know that this daughter has some serious intellectual genes, and some of those surely belong to the mom, who again is some director of some center. The mom took it upon herself to homeschool the daughter, didn't let the daughter go to public or private school, brought the daughter up herself. What does that mean? To me as an attorney, this means that this lady is not going away. Despite what we might think, this lady is not one of those, oh, my neck, my neck and my back type of plaintiffs. Shannon Sharpe and Ocho Cinco are dealing with a very serious person. This is not a game. Again, this has nothing to do with the actual defamation case, but I'll tell you as a little tip that attorneys were always sizing up the plaintiff. Is this person for real or not? Is this person educated or not? Is this person serious or not? Can we blow them off? Can we ignore them? This lady apparently is not to be ignored. She has the capability to really go hard on this case. All right, so the article continues that the U.S. Sun has reached out to Shannon Sharpe's attorneys for comment. In a conversation with the U.S. Sun, Tillman added, "We've been in communication with the legal team of Shay Shay Media, who was also representing Shannon Sharpe." All right, so now the woman is talking to Shannon Sharpe's legal team. The woman says that they're looking to resolve this matter quickly, and we will probably have more to share upon our next conversation. Guys, this sentence right here tells you all that you need to know. If this is true, this lady's saying that Shannon Sharpe's legal team is looking to resolve this matter quickly. Does that remind us of anything? Is that similar to another lawsuit that we heard about just a few months ago? I don't know if you guys remember, but when Shannon Sharpe was hit with this $50 million lawsuit, his attorney came to social media and said, "We didn't even know she was filing this. We were trying to get this resolved quickly under the table without anybody knowing. We had offered Gabriella Zuniga over $10 million to settle. We were in active negotiations and they just went and filed this. This has taken us by complete surprise." So we already see that Shannon Sharpe was trying to resolve that Gabriella Zuniga case quickly and under the table. And now Tillman is saying they're trying to do the same thing with this case. Why are they trying to resolve it? Again, if we look at the factors, this lady may have a really strong case. She can prove that the statement was about her. She can prove that the statement was published. She can prove probably that the statement was made in reckless disregard of the truth because she's not married, and I don't think that Shannon or Ocho really investigated to see if she was married or not. She can prove that the statement was false, and she can prove damages, I believe. She can prove some reputational injury because it's going to be easier for her to prove these things since the law is going to consider her to be a private person. Guys, the law is pretty clear that when you're a private person, people can't really play with your name like that. We can sit back and say, oh, Ocho Cinco and Shay Shay, they were just joking, and they were. But the law says, hey, you need to be careful when you joke on private people's names. If you want to joke on somebody famous, if you want to go at Monique or you want to go at one of these celebrities, fine. They've got big platforms. They can defend themselves. But these private people, they don't have an audience. So when you spread a rumor like this, it can really affect them because it's so hard for them to refute it. This lady may be able to prove, as she said, that she tried to contact Shannon Sharp's team numerous times to get them to take down the clips. They would not do it. She wanted them to take down the entire episode. They would not do it. She wanted them to issue a retraction. They would not do it. They disregarded all of her communications. Now, maybe they didn't get them. Maybe she was sending emails to an inbox that was never checked. We're going to have to kind of figure out the details on this. But it seems like Shannon Sharp saying, hey, you know what? We're going to go ahead and settle with you. We're talking to your team. We want this quickly. I've already lost the ESPN deal. I've already got hit for $20 million with Gabriella. Let's just settle this for a small amount. And it's my belief that that's what's going to happen. So what do you guys think? Do you think that Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco should have to pay this lady any money? Were they just joking? Or do you think, hey, you shouldn't be able to joke like this on regular people's names if they're not asking for it? What do you think? Let me know. If you were the judge in this case, would you order Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco to pay any money? And if so, how much would you order to pay them? Put your answers in the comments below.
Well, I guess I may just go ahead and put in my lawsuit, Gina. You know, I'm a private citizen, you know, so I might as well just go ahead and put in my lawsuit. So I'm getting some money coming Monday, and so I guess I'm going to file my lawsuit. Shit, you know, why not? Hey, it is what it is, right? It is what it is, right? All right, people. So we're here tonight. What you guys want to talk about? You know, I tried to cover Jay-Z and things, got minimal response. Tried to cover Shannon Sharp, got minimum response. Tried to talk about the young lady. Really don't have much to go by with that case because you know, it's not really much to what is that noise? Gina, are you asleep? Here, let me go ahead and mute her. I think Gina is asleep, y'all. All right. So Gina is asleep. So, yeah. Let me see, y'all. Let me see. Y'all hold on for 1 second. All right, people, so I'm back. I'm going to share this link. I'm going to share this link to my chat. And then I'm going to call this up. And I think we're going to get out of here, peoples, because everybody tends to be silent on tonight. So let's take a look at this real quick here, y'all. Let's take a look at this here, y'all. And I think we're going to get out of here on tonight. So let me go ahead and call up that PDF file and things. Go back here. Let me call it the PDF file. There we go. All right, there we go. Risha Aleena Lewis, peoples. I'm going to share this little post that I had just shared with my group. And this is a little bit more information. No, this was on Jay-Z. Okay, well, so let's take a look at this, peoples. We'll transition off of Risha real quick. And then let's go back and let's look at what Vicky Davis had sent us about Ramir. All right, so let me share the screen, peoples. Keeping it real with Dr. Little, Lily M. Conley. I never seen her before, but let's listen to what she has to say.
Hi, everybody. My name is Dr. Lillian Coley. I wanted to talk about the 2022 injunction that's been seen on the internet from New Jersey, saying that myself, and I think they said my godson, and he wasn't even part of the case then, could not file anything in the court. I just want to let you all guys know that that information is not correct. Every order that you see, especially from New Jersey, does not have legal value. One, the court itself said they had no jurisdiction over the case. But let me tell you how the injunction came about. The injunction came about when I was seeking to vacate a void order. Let me say it again. I was seeking to vacate a void order that was obtained by fraud regarding Mr. Carter, Jay-Z. That's what we were trying to do. We were not asking for paternity. I wish I could say it in Spanish, but I can't. We were not asking for paternity. I was not asking for paternity. My godson was not part of that case. This case was done, and I wasn't even around. This injunction was done behind closed doors. According to Kenneth L. Winters, he said he paid for it. That's what he said. He said he paid good money for these orders. That was one of them. So at the end of the day, I'm just going to say, I don't know all the stuff, all the details. All I do know is that if I went into the court right now in New Jersey, because I got property there and I have a standing in the state, ain't going to be no problem. I can promise you that. And if it was, all of the stuff that I'm talking about will come out. All of it. So I doubt very, 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 very seriously if they're going to try to block and stop me from going into the court to do whatever. But that's part of the problem, everybody. They had to try to use a mechanism to block it. So what I did was, in the fall of 2021, I filed a motion to reopen the family court case and to vacate the order that was obtained by fraud regarding Mr. Carter obtaining it by fraud. And it was based on him having personal jurisdiction with the state. Once I did that, I gave it to a supervisor, a Black lady, and Judge Katz, who's the administrative judge who did this so-called injunction, she came and took the package from the Black girl who was a supervisor who helped me put it together and held onto the package for 3.5 months. This is Judge Katz, Judge Deborah Silverman Katz. Then she sent me my filing fee back, and she sent it back under the purposes of the refund was based on mileage reimbursement, as if I used to work for them, which I never did. Because that was a package that would have let them know, and over again, they already did know, but it was a package that was going to go through the system again on fraud, not paternity. Fraud, not paternity. Fraud, not paternity. Just for the record, that Wanda Satterwhite only asked for paternity 2 times, and it really was 1.5. In 2010, and then 2011 of March 2011. 2 times. I asked for it one time in New Jersey, and Ramir asked for it one time in New Jersey. All this other stuff about what everybody kept asking, lies. Nobody was interested in paternity. Once the case turned into a fraud case, that's how we worked it. Fraud, fraud, fraud. Fraud on top of fraud, on top of fraud, on top of fraud for years. And that's what they were blocking. So by time 22 came, Kenneth L. Winters, he had enough. So he went deeper into his pockets and somebody else's pockets to pay for an order called an injunction. And believe me, it's not worth the paper it's on, because they told us Jersey said they don't have jurisdiction. They don't have jurisdiction. So if you ain't got jurisdiction, you can't make orders. You can't have it both ways. So that's the story, everybody. I just wanted you to know that. And then very quickly, I want to say that my godson is not going to have a problem with the court trying to enforce any type of attorney fees. Are you kidding me? Mr. Carter has unclean hands with the whole case. So you might have paid for stuff and did what you wanted, but the law is still prevailing. That's what's happening. You are seeing in real time the law prevailing. So the unclean hands of the fraud case don't give you no standing to make any decisions, and you don't get any remedies or you don't get any remedies. Your party is over in that regard. So here we find the injunction came about in 2022. It was based on fraud. It was based on an order obtained by fraud. And then because I was trying to vacate a void order, because fraud is already fraud and it's no good even before you reverse it. It has no value. So I was trying to vacate it so they can't use it in other places, which they're trying to do now. So I was trying to vacate the order based on personal jurisdiction when they lied about the property holdings in the state of New Jersey. And then the judge decided, Judge Silverman Katz heard about it, because she only thing she does is assign judges. We did it on the trial level. She comes down and take the package from a supervisor, and then goes and holds on to the package for 3 months because she's trying to figure out what to do. Her and Kenneth L. Winters, they have an injunction. I wasn't even there. I never was served. I found out about that 3 months later. And then when I tried to appeal it, they blocked it. This is a true story, everybody. This is why we're doing the stuff we're going to do. You're going to see stuff come out that you ain't never seen before. It's going to be mind-boggling. But what happens is when you use your money to try to do something, in the end, it don't work, because the truth always prevails. And that's the same thing as happening with my godson. So, and he might want other things besides it. He got fraud with his case too. He might want other things as well. I only want to deal with the fraud, because I think the fraud is a big part of the no due process. And that's also what the court was trying to cover up in terms of my goddaughter being underage. That's really what they're trying to cover up. That they cover the cover up because she was underage. You knew she was, and that's basically statutory rape. It is. So they trying to cover that up, right? But at the end of the day, it is what it is. We got to go through the court process. We got to go whatever. But people in high places, I mean, real high, good places too, are falling what they need to fall in terms of this case. So you got the two main things that was what's going on here. And that is the truth of the matter. This is the truth, everybody. This is not a fairy tale. This is not fictional. All right. So there's the injunction is not worth the paper it's on. You try to respect orders from a judge, but it has to be based on the truth. This was, of course, based on hearsay and all these other factual, unfactual things that Kenneth Winters paid for. And then it was no legal basis for it. It never was. They knew that. Of course, we feel it's a cover up. And then as far as Ramir paying attorney fees for what? Because you got something in late? Because you never did this and in order for you to have a motion to dismiss to be successful, you need to contact the person. They need to be some sort of communication. You had no communication. So going in the door, you're messed up and wrong. But at the end of the day, you have unclean hands. Your unclean hands are fraud. Fraud, fraud, fraud. Not paternity. Not paternity. Fraud, fraud, fraud. The only thing, Tommy, when we talk about paternity is when it deals with an underage girl having sex. That's the only time we're going to have that conversation. Underage, right? So that's what I want everybody to know. Just know what you know and get the facts. The people that's out there are doing this because they're paid. It's a propaganda. They want to push false information, but it ain't working, right? And the fact that my godson, probably not a part of the case, didn't help him, but that was somebody in a high place, very high, Lord, very high place, y'all. They gave that information for him to do based on circumstances. And it was done. It was done timely, and it was done before the motion to dismiss came in, even though some of those requirements of a motion to dismiss wasn't even met by the defense. So that's another story, everybody. Y'all want to keep up with it? Keep up with it. It's all good. It's all good because justice is going to prevail. We want to pray for the judge that she don't get caught up in stuff, because some people were part of this propaganda, putting out false information. They will do anything to be a part of the inner circle and to get money. Some people will feed their kids off of dog food, off of dog food they got in the wrong way. That's what I'm trying to say. It's food they got from the wrong money. I'm sorry. Let me correct myself. Money they got the wrong way. They will use that to feed their children and themselves because they don't have dignity and worth and value. So at any rate, we want to pray for our judge and judges all over the land, that they will follow the law. I'm not looking for nobody to do no freebies for me. You got to do me no favors. I want you to be human. I want you to be authentic, and I want you to be compassionate. But I also want you to follow the law. Please follow the law, because the law prevails. The law was what makes this system work. The law is what this country was built on. And I'm very grateful for the people that are behind us. You never know whose cousins are out there. You don't know how people are related. You got to be careful. And at the end of the day, I'm thankful to have people in the family and very close to family, what you call a legacy of people, because my family was a part of the political world, part of the police forces, both in New York and Pennsylvania and Philadelphia. And I'm just glad about it. And it's a legacy of family members in there, which you would never know who they are. Be careful, everybody. And I'm just grateful that they're in other parts of the government, like the FBI and the Secret Service and some other organizations. Just thankful for that, how the connections are made long before this even happened. So at the end of the day, be encouraged, everybody. This is Dr. Lil on Keeping It Real with Dr. Lil, and be encouraged because of the truth. And take the truth and let it prevail, and then make your own decisions about it. Because I'm not going to sit here and drive nobody crazy over it. I'm not going to drive myself or nobody else. It is what it is. And what we have to do is ask God to help us sort out what's truth and fiction if we're going to take it on, right? Because you're going to carry filth. Don't carry filth, everybody. Don't do it. So God is good, and he's always going to be good. Look forward to talking to you next time. This is Keeping It Real with Dr. Lil. Thank you so much. God bless everybody.
Welcome to Hitport, all-in-one media solution center.
All right, peoples, that was really interesting of what the young lady had to say and stuff, Very, very, very interesting. But that just lets you know, hey, got to keep your eyes, you got to keep your ears open and things and see what's going on. But yeah, she brought some serious facts to the case and things, and she's a doctor, so she knows what she's talking about. So, that's what it is. I think Vicky Davis, I think our beloved friend, she had to go ahead and get her some rest and things. I didn't know. I was just sitting here and I was just looking at some things and stuff, and then all of a sudden, and then I said, "Oh, okay. Well, then my friend, she's still alive and things." So I had to just go ahead and mute her. But that's what happens, people. When hey, you get tired, and you have to get your rest and things, which I am going to do right now too, people. This was a good live and things. It's not as long as I like how I did it before and stuff, but I got a late start because we was all in the chat together, and we was all conversating with each other and whatnot. All of my moderators and things. So I've just learned something new, peoples. I didn't know that you can do a group chat and everybody can sign in, and we can talk to each other just like a telephone call and stuff. I didn't know that. Uh, you learn something new every day. So it was refreshing because I was just happening to lay down and I was looking for some information about this young lady and things. And then all of a sudden I hit the group chat thing and then everybody signed in. And when I looked at my phone, I saw everybody, signed in. And I was like, okay, so what is this? They said, well, you called this. I said, I called you guys. Oh, I didn't know. I accidentally pressed the button and then here you guys are and stuff. But then, this is why we didn't go live earlier and stuff, because we was all behind the scenes chalking it up and things. So it was refreshing. It was really good to be able to talk to all of my moderators and everybody, come together. We all on one accord and we're just chalking it up. And so now, since I know a way for all of us to communicate instead of, we can join the group chat and talk to each other and stuff, or do the video chat, or, whatever and things, and everybody can really, really get to know each other and things. And that's what I want. That's exactly what I want. So I'm gonna share this one last thing, peoples, about Risha, and then we're gonna check out of here and things. This was sent to me and all, and we're gonna take a look at it, and then we're going to get on out of here. Is that all right, peoples? And we're gonna let you guys go ahead and be blessed and get your rest, and that's what we're gonna do tonight, peoples. So let me go ahead and let me share this thing here, and then we're going to head on out, peoples. All right, so let me share the screen. This is about Risha. Let me share the screen, peoples. And so it clearly states right here, and this is the Charlie Project. And this is about as much information I am going to get on this young lady. It says, missing since January 21st, 2006. Missing from Elkton, Maryland. Classification endangered missing. Sex is a female. Date of birth is August the 9th, 1979. And she was only 45 years old, peoples. She was a female and she was black. She was nothing but 26 years old. She was 5'3", 130 pounds. Clothing she was wearing at the time was a gold rope bracelet and a gold rope necklace with a pendant that says, Mommy and Me. Associated vehicles was white four-door 1997 Ford Crown Victoria with the Delaware license plate number 304653 accounted for. Distinguishing characters: African American female, black hair, brown eyes, Louis ears, and right eyebrow are pierced. And she has a cesarean section scar on her abdomen. She may use the alias first names Colleen and or Milani, or the nickname Rish. She wears contact lenses. Lewis has the following tattoos: red flames with the name Kev on one upper arm, a large unspecified tattoo on the upper arm. On the other upper arm, her name Risha on her wrist, the name Jamie on her calf, a butterfly between her breasts, and vines and barbed wires on the small of her back. Photos of some those tattoos are posted with this case summary. It says investigating agency, Newcastle County Police Department, 302-395-8171. Source name us the News Journal. We'll check them out. Details of disappearance. Lewis left her residence in the 400 block of Morehouse Drive in Newcastle, Delaware, and went to go visit a friend in the 200 block of West Pulaski Highway in Elkton, Maryland. At approximately 1:30 a.m. on January 21st, 2006, she called home and stated she was on her way back there. She never arrived and has not been seen since. Her vehicle, a four-door 1997 Crown Victoria with the Delaware license plate number 304653, was found abandoned in Newark, Delaware on October the 17th, 2006. Nearly 9 months after she was last seen, Lewis has not been in contact with either her two children since she went missing. Her cellular phone remains active but has not been used. Delaware police are investigating her case. The circumstances surrounding her disappearance are unclear. Updated two times since October the 12th, 2004. Last updated on November the 10th, November the 6th. Boy, I can't read, huh, peoples? November the 6th, 2010. Two pictures added distinguishing characteristics and details of disappearances updated. And this is who she is, people. And this is all the information that we got. And so I'm going to continue to keep scanning the airways, peoples, because like I said, there is no actual news clippings, no news reports, no news postings, no news videos, no news, nothing, absolutely nothing whatsoever. No news Delaware news or anything whatsoever. And only a couple of people have ever talked about this case. And so these are one of the cases that really intrigues me, peoples and stuff. And so, I mean, if there's nothing, there's nothing. But I'm going to really do a deep dive upon this and try to figure out who this young lady is and what could be the reasons for her disappearance. Now, we may never find that out, or we may find something out and stuff, but whatever I find, I'm definitely going to bring it to your attention, because this is one of the things that has really captivated my attention, and we're going to bring to you as we can that the missing person, Risha Aleena Lewis. Well, people, that's it. That's all that I have. That's it. That's all that I have. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in. This special live, this special report about the missing person, Risha Aleena Lewis. I wish I can bring you more about her, but we're going to do some more special reports about missing people. We're going to do more reports about different cases and things, and that's what we're going to do, peoples. Is that all right, peoples? So I greatly appreciate you, each and every one of you who had tuned in on tonight. I know we came in a little late, but it seems like you all are night owls and you all love to come on lives in the midnight hour. And so what I was planning on doing was going ahead in my archives and playing an old live that I did of the Kenneka Jenkins case, but I don't think I'm going to do that tonight, peoples, because I would have to upload it to YouTube. And because I've been doing everything in high def, it's going to take all night and until the next day in order for it to process, which is the video that I last did the same thing, but it ended up being streamed, which is really good. And it was streamed in high definition. So I don't think I really want to go through that tonight and things and stuff. So if the Lord says the same, people, I'll be back tomorrow. And we'll be back up on probably the Kanika Jenkins case or another case and things. But whatever we do, we'll be back here to speak to you. Is that all right, peoples? So, peoples, I hope I had said something to encourage your hearts upon tonight. Tune in next time to an Edward Joseph Let's Talk Live, Edward Joseph Kitchen, Edward Joseph Gospel Hour, Edward Joseph's Blessings Giveaway 2025 will come to you with something wonderful. I love you with the love of Christ, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Peoples, mask up and be safe. And again, peoples, I greatly appreciate all of my moderators who had showed up on tonight. I greatly appreciate the time that we had spent up on our group chat and things. And y'all, let's get together and let's do this again, because this was very exciting to be able to hear all of you guys' voices and things and get all of you guys' input up on things and whatnot. And so together we stand, divided we fall. But let's stand together, let's band together, let's share together, and let's pray together. Is that all right, peoples? And when we do that, we will always be able to stay connected and grow stronger. So, peoples, you guys get your rest and be blessed. And if the Lord says the same, I will be back on tomorrow when another Edward Joseph Let's Talk Live. Up until then, peoples, you guys be blessed. God bless you all. Thank you for watching.